I'm Oral Hershiser, and I am on Blue Review.
Hey, this is Sean Green. You're watching the Blue Review.
Bum,
Bum,
bum, bum,
bum,
bum,
bum,
bum.
bum.
Ring.
Ring, and then
Yeah,
like a half flat pew, pew, pew.
yeah. It's
Uh,
sort of an up and down Bindi on a Monday morning. Welcome everybody to the Blue Review presented by LAX, where the Dodgers have just hit into another double play. I'm Marcus
yeah,
Grant. That is
yeah,
Greg Bergman.
big part of the conversation, Marcus.
Jeez.
Just
As you mentioned,
over
an
and
up and down
over.
weekend in Chicago. Dodgers lose 2 of 3 to the White Sox. They go 3-3 on the road trip. They take 2 of 3 in Pittsburgh. They lose 2 of 3 in Chicago. Before we get too deep into your overall feelings on the weekend.
They had it. I mean, it was really only a couple of innings, right? The White Sox just scored in bunches 3 different times on Friday. On not really on Saturday. They did get a run on Saturday, kind of, and then on Sunday it was like a bunch. That was it. They actually the Dodgers held them down for the most part. A very high powered offense. Just frustrating. Losing 2 or 3 is just frustrating. I mean, it's going to happen every once in a while. Just the way that it happened was a little frustrating.
Yeah, we can talk about because big innings by the opponents have been a big part of this
Yeah,
over the last week or so. So we'll dive
yeah.
into that and more as well on the show today. But first, want to let you know, as always, that the Blue Review is powered by LAX. The next time you're heading to LAX, look up. You'll see the future of airport travel in action as the new all-electric Skylink People Mover train is undergoing testing. For more information, you can visit lawa.org/ESPN. Where would you like to start? You want to start yesterday, Friday, start
Let's start.
Saturday?
You want?
Because
Do you want
that
to?
was good.
Let's start with like the good because we can get all into the bullpen, Jack Dryer, the grounding into double plays, all the things that are frustrating to Dodger fans. But let's talk about the good portion of it and how great Yoshinobu Yamamoto was on Saturday.
Saturday, he was the story. Yes, the Dodgers went out and scored 7 runs, but the story was Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who had a perfect game going into the 7th innings, perfect for 7 2/3 innings. Had a no hitter going until the start of the 9th inning. Couldn't quite nail it down, but just another phenomenal performance from Yoshi. But also, we were talking about before the show, Greg. This shows how hard it is to throw both a perfect game and a no hitter.
All the things. I mean, what is there? Was there like 27 perfect games in history?
Something like that, yeah.
So it's very hard to get a perfect game in Major League Baseball, and yeah, there's 24 official perfect games in Major League history, and he was right there on the precipice. It's so hard because it's not just you against the hitters, right? It's everybody in the outfield, the infield. Everybody has to be perfect as well defensively. And like Freddie made massive plays where he did it. Mookie just didn't. That was a play that he should have made. He could have kept it at the perfect. Now, would he have still given up the home run in the 9th inning? Who knows? Probably, maybe not. I don't know. But the fact is that Mookie needs to make that play. If you want to get there, it feels like like the Hanley Ramirez
I was just thinking
for
that.
Peyton Kershaw was at 2014. It's the same type of thing. You have to be perfect, and everybody has to be perfect on the exact same day. And Mookie just wasn't, and then the home run happened.
Yeah, I'm sure Mookie still feels kind of raw about it, but allowing the home run in the ninth sort of erased that a little bit. But I was thinking that same thing that after the error was Mookie Betts going to be sort of the Hanley Ramirez to Yama's Clayton Kershaw. In the end, it didn't really matter. The upside with this one, though, Greg, is unlike the one in Baltimore that he took to 2 outs in the 9th inning. The bullpen locked this one down. They had a 6-run cushion to work with. I mean, look, the last one they had 3 runs and only 1 out to get, and still couldn't get it
They
done.
lost that game. They lost that game in Baltimore,
There was nobody on base,
and they
the bullpen
lost.
lost that game.
Blake Treining's like, I needed 1 out. I couldn't get the 1 out. Tanner Scott couldn't get 1 out. It was just an absolute disaster.
So this time
that
around,
one still hurts. That one hurts still.
Yeah.
Like
this
the
time around, the bullpen locked it down, so that's good.
Yeah, no, the bullpen locked it down. I mean, I still feel like Could Andy Pajes have gotten to it? I don't think so to that double. But at the same time, Yamamoto, to me, Yamamoto's going to get there at some point. They said it on the broadcast afterwards. They were saying it like, this is what it feels like. He's going to do it eventually. He just has the right type of stuff, and he has the right type of demeanor to get through. I mean, remember, he was almost perfect in the playoffs where he was giving up nothing. Wasn't it the one hit? He was giving the home run at the beginning of the game against the Brewers to Jack Churio. It was the home run on the first batter, then everything all the way through, right? So he's going to get there. It just, again, everybody's got to be perfect. But you got to give it up to the guy, man. If we're ever wondering who the ace of this team is, Yamamoto just showed you another reason why he's the ace of this team. And as great as Shohei has been, and he's obviously very, very good, I trust Yamamoto to go deeper into games and to finish games out more so than I do Shohei. Is that fair?
I think that's the thing, is that right now you can expect Yama to. I mean, if he goes less than 6, you wonder, well, what went wrong? You know, where Shohei, and partially because of how the Dodgers want to sort of help protect him a little bit, but partially I think just because of who he is. Shohei is a 5-6 inning pitcher. If he gets into the 7th, great, but it hasn't quite worked out that way. So, and it goes back to that conversation we had at the start of the year about is Yamamoto an ace? And Alana Rizzo said yes. There were others who suggested no.
Eric Kratz and whatever.
I think you made that exact same face the first time we had this conversation too.
It was stupid then. It's still stupid now. So Eric Kratz. And it was the other guy. Wasn't it the Andy McCullough? Wasn't he?
I think so. Yeah, that sounds about right.
I have in my definition of a ace, you have to do it over multiple seasons, multiple times, and it has to be someone that has. Just get out of here. It's stupid.
So let's go back to Friday's game. Roki Sasaki had the ball for the Dodgers in that one. The White Sox kind of ran away with this one. Again, another game though where the Dodgers travel and immediately play the next day and then come out and just generally look flat. And it was kind of everybody all around. I mean, Roki gave up 7 runs in 4 1/3. The offense didn't hit. I don't know what to say. They just came out flat on Friday more than anything else.
Yeah, I believe they didn't sleep very well. They only got a couple of hours.
Yeah, I feel like they got stuck on. I think I heard they got stuck on the tarmac in Pittsburgh or something. They had to wait because I think there was thunderstorms in Chicago, so it was just a long night and long day for them.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, and when you don't sleep and you're a major league player, it's going to be difficult to go out there. Also, I do wonder. I mean, you and I were kind of talking about this in our text thread. Is that it was Chucky Robinson behind the plate, and now I don't think that's going to make that much of a difference. But for a young guy like Roki Sasaki, and who is trying to he's building on every single outing. Do you think Chucky Robinson was the right guy to have back there calling his game? I do wonder if there's any part of that was kind of, it threw him off just even slightly. The sleeping part it was probably a big deal too, but the fact that you had a different catcher that you have never pitched with, maybe in the minors for a little. I mean, I can't imagine that they pitched to each other very often.
Yeah, I do think there was some unfamiliarity there because, I mean, the command was not there that we had seen from him in the last 4 or so starts. I mean, maybe he was just due to have an off night, perhaps. But it did cross my mind having a catcher that he's unfamiliar with, that he's never worked with before, for a guy who's just sort of building his confidence and just sort of learning that consistency. I did wonder if it threw him off. I mean, I don't think anyone will ever admit to it if that really was the case. It's one of those things that you and I can debate forever, but I don't think we'll ever have a real answer to it.
Nah. So, I mean, we just chalked that one up for a loss. It was a bad outing. Now this is where it's important for Roki to have a bounce back game in his next outing. So, and I think he will. I think it will be much different than probably with Dalton Brushing, who he is familiar with. It just feels like this, and maybe have more sleep. I mean, Shohei sleeps like 14 hours a day. Right. So, I think for a lot of these guys, the sleep means so much to them, so that they're at full capacity. And this just wasn't. Friday just wasn't it for Roki Sasaki, and didn't work out.
Didn't work out. That's all. But on the whole, still has been a good upward trajectory for Roki Sasaki. So that part of it is certainly encouraging. Just we'll see. We'll see how he rebounds after what was a tough start this past weekend.
And one other thing, it was one inning. Like the White Sox got one inning that they had a big inning. They had 7 runs in like the 4th, and then that was it. They got the 1 run in the first inning, and then 7 in the was it the 4th? No, the 5th, and 7 runs in the 5th, and that was it. Like the White Sox just had these big bunches of hits in one inning that just pushed them ahead. The Dodgers typically do things like this, and maybe this is the sign of the White Sox changing from a disaster of a team to a first place team. Yeah. But they just had that big inning over and over again.
Well, so that goes to kind of what I was really, not really, but part of what I wanted to talk about today on the show is that the big inning has bitten the Dodgers a lot recently. In fact, I'm looking right here, just from the game story from yesterday. In the Dodgers' past 7 games, opposing teams have scored 5 or more runs in an inning 4 times.
Wow.
Angels had a 6-run inning on June 7th. That was the 13-3, 13-5 game, whatever it was. The Angels had a 6-run 7th inning. The Pirates built a 5-run 8th inning on Wednesday at PNC, and the White Sox did it twice over the weekend, scoring 7 runs in the 5th on Friday before a 6-run outburst on Sunday. So, this just feels sort of like the pitching staff, the bullpen in particular, going into a slump. But it is sort of concerning giving up not just crooked numbers, but big crooked numbers lately.
Yeah, they just are one of the biggest issues, and I love them. And you talked to him at the Hershiser Chevy event. Jack Dreyer is giving up home runs almost every outing. And it seems to be like and they're big home runs. It's maybe like if he comes in with a big lead, it's just that it's a solo shot. But the fact is that he is giving up home runs over and over again. I think he'll fix it, but this bullpen has completely changed remember we were talking about in May that they were the best bullpen in baseball. And it was really because the starters are going deep into games. Now the starters are still going deep into games, but they're not able to hold these leads. They're giving it up. And so I saw a stat, I think it was on Friday or sometime last week, that they are giving up the most runs without pitching the least amount of innings in baseball right now. So the bullpen has been a huge problem. Now I think they fix it, but the fact is you're back to the space where you just don't trust them, and that's a bad place to be.
Yeah, I mean, I think the trust tree, I think I saw it in the chat, somebody said JF saying Dave's bullpen trust tree got termites. There's a lot of shuffling going on there. I still think Tanner Scott right now is at the top of it because he continues to really be solid. I still have a lot of faith in Will Klein. Let's talk about this. I have faith in Alex Vesia, but it does make me nervous because he's throwing like 89 miles an hour. Right? But he's getting outs and he's working out of situations. And I sit there and I watch it. And I'm like, I don't really know how this is happening, but it's happening. So I still have faith in Vesia, but it does make me a little nervous, if that's fair.
No, that's completely fair. I mean, the dude throws. I mean, remember we were talking about he's throwing 90 miles per hour and he's getting guys out. And he's getting swing and miss outs too. Mm-hmm. There's just something about his windup, his release, where it leaves his hand that guys are just not able to fully pick up to it. And I also think there's a little bit, this is just my own brain, but if you're seeing 95 to 100 over and over and over again, and then you see a 90 mile per hour fastball, it's just hard to catch up to when you've been thinking swing faster, and then you're just late or early on a lot of things. So as long as Vesia keeps getting out, then great.
I mean,
when he's giving up those 3-run jacks, that's when it's a problem.
That's when it's a problem. But yes, I mean, I'm going through the bullpen. I mean, Kyle Hurt has run into some issues in his last few outings. You mentioned Jack Dreyer, even Edgardo Henriquez, who is another guy who sort of makes me nervous. Whether he succeeds or fails in any given outing, just kind of makes me a little bit nervous. The bullpen is, I don't know if it's that they need. I can't say they need a break because they're not throwing as much this year as they have last year. They're just in a slump at the moment.
So this is a thank you to producer Lindsay who put this in there. Lindsay Baseball. She put this on our Sedano Cap rundown. After a 3.12 ERA through May, the Pen has given up 32 runs in 38 and a half innings pitched in June. 7.51 ERA. with 10 home runs in 13 games. If your
Yikes.
bullpen is doing that, giving up home runs, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to start losing games. And the fact that, like, despite the fact that they're still in first place by a large margin, I think 8 games still.
7, I believe is what I got.
Now it's 7 over the Padres. Yeah, so 7 games, and you're still, I think, a game or 2 back of the Braves for the best record in all of baseball. That is still a problem. That needs to be fixed. Like,
yeah,
Peter could do that. Evan Phillips can do that. They have guys coming that could hopefully help that.
And I think that's the upside here, right? Is that you're going to sort of have a bullpen refresh, if you will, with guys like Stewart, with Phillips coming back. You're going to get some arms that hopefully are healthy and rested and ready to go. And that means we're going to see some shuffling. I would assume when those guys are back that for instance, we no longer see Kyle Hurt, probably, I would guess, goes back. Jonathan Hernandez is probably a guy who's not going to be here too much longer. I think that's some of the shuffling that we see when some of these guys get healthy. Justin Lamas asking or saying Trinan is washed. Are we on that? Are we there yet? Or are we getting there yet? Where are we feeling about that?
I'm not there yet, but he has been struggling for a couple of years. He's always, we talked about it 1,000 times, but he's an up and down guy. 1 year good, 1 year bad, 1 year good, 1 year bad. He was bad last year, so this is supposed to be the good year. I think he's just a guy that's going to go on the IL again, and he's going to come back. He's not hitting his spots. He's not getting, if his pitches have that much movement, they just stay flat and they're hittable. And right now he is just not great. Washed, I think, might be a little bit too strong, but we're not far. I don't think we're far from where it is. He's a 3-time, actually, I think he's a 4-time World Series champion. I know, or maybe it's 3 with the Dodgers, and he might have had 1 more with another team. But either way, I'm not ready to say he's washed, but it's right around the corner.
Yeah. I mean, maybe because last year was so bad, I was a little surprised that that he was back sort of for another year. But he started the year great. It just lately has sort of started to come apart a little bit. And I think right now Dave Roberts is trying to find opportunities to use him that aren't super high leverage. So I don't know, but it has not been great for Blake Trinan. But he's a 3-time World Series champion. So all with the Dodgers, 2020, 2024, and 2025.
I thought he might have been on the national team, but
no,
I don't think he was.
Yeah, he just missed that. I think he might have been in Oakland at that point.
Yeah.
Double plays are a problem. At some point over the weekend, I just thought if I'm the White Sox, I'm just gonna walk the first guy, because chances are the guy behind him is going to bounce one, hit like a 2-hopper to shortstop, and you can just go 6-4-3. The Dodgers lead the world in double plays. I don't even know what to say about it other than, That's kind of all I got about that.
Yeah, so I think there's 2 ways to look at this, right? Is it a good? I mean, it's obviously all bad. Is it possibly good and bad? Where to get into a double play, you have to get guys on base. So they're getting guys on base. They're just grounding into double plays. And just so if you want the exact number, the Dodgers have 64 grounding into double plays, and the next worst team is the Pirates at 59. So they are leading the world in double plays right now. It's just I think there's part of it, like they're getting guys on base. The total bases, they have 1,066 total bases, where I think the next is the Astros with 1,010. So they're getting on base, which means you're going to score more runs, which things are going to happen. So every once in a while, those balls are going to get through, but just hitting the ball on the ground is so frustrating.
It just is. You mentioned the Pirates being second in the most double plays. That was sort of a double play off, because both teams in that series hit into a lot of double plays. Right. They just lived up to their respective reputations in that regard.
Oh,
so.
God, so many
double
plays. What's worse for you? I'm sorry to interrupt. It's like, what's worse when you see a ball hit into the ground, whether double play or not, a ball hit into the ground right to either second baseman or shortstop, or a pop up to the infield?
Yes. I think the pop up is probably worse, just because with the ground ball, there's that split second you can tell yourself maybe it's going to find a hole.
Right.
Like, like it's off the bat. You're like, oh, maybe it gets through. And then they show you the outfield shot. You're like, hey, well, no, that's a, slow roller to second base. You're going to be out. A pop up off the bat. You're like, well, this is an out. This is an out.
Like Pages in the ninth inning yesterday when he hit a ball right up the middle. I was like, oh, that's going to get through. No, that didn't.
That didn't get through.
Did not.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, by the way, I know the shift officially is dead, but teams have still figured out sort of how to skirt that line and how to position guys, because there are a number of balls that get hit up the middle that I think off the bat are going to get through into center field, and inevitably there's a middle infielder that's behind second base
right there
and right there ready to make the play. So you can't officially shift, but teams are sort of shifting without actually shifting, and the Dodgers do it too. I'm not saying that it's just one team or another. Just it's teams have figured it out. They've gotten really good at that sort of thing.
Yeah, there's like times I see Miggy Rowe like cut all the way across second base and catch and get a ball at shortstop. So,
yeah,
they're going to figure out ways to skirt everything.
Absolutely,
they all do.
They all do. Dodgers back home tonight. Keep an eye out. Again, they're playing the day after they travel without a break in between. We'll see what it looks like. The Rays come into town for 3. The Rays had been playing some good baseball, still overall just a game back of the Yankees in the AL East, but they did lose 2 of 3 in Anaheim to the Angels this week.
That means they're going to be upset.
That means they are going to be upset. In fact, one of them was an 8-0 loss. They were shut out by Jose Soriano and the Angels in that ball game. On the mound today, is it
Nick Martinez? It's Eric Lauer. Eric Lauer,
yeah.
Eric Lauer, who's been maybe one of the better pitchers on his team somehow. I don't know how, but Nick Martinez does pitch pretty well against the Dodgers, where Shohei is 0 for 10.
Oh, all right. So
and Freddie is 3 for 14. Sorry, Shohei's 1 for 10, 3 of 14 for Freddie.
All right. So not necessarily great results for some of the Dodger hitters in the lineup against Nick Martinez. 6-2 with a 2.43 ERA. We'll see if they can capitalize on opportunities. I think that was a big thing from the weekend too, Greg. Getting a lot of guys on base. Yeah, the double plays hurt, but also just not able to really capitalize in a big way. Maybe they put a couple guys on and scratch out a run, but I don't know the number of times they would leave either the bases loaded or leave a couple of guys on. So taking advantage of those opportunities got to be a big part of the next few days.
Yeah, get those big hits with runners on base. And like Pages, who's been the best of it, has not done it as well as he has over the first, couple months of the season. But yeah, guys need to start getting hits when runners aren't scoring position. And they do for the most part. I think there's just those random days like yesterday where it just took a little bit to get there.
Yeah, that's it. They did make it interesting late, could not quite close the deal, ended up losing 6-4, but at least some signs of life from the offense in the late innings. And what ended up being a bullpen game for the White Sox, maybe that had something to do with it too, just not really being able to lock in on a guy because he's not going to be there too long. So I guess get ready for that though, because it's the Rays, and I think they're still doing their opener.
I don't know, but the Rays are such a weird team. They have they have one of the best records in baseball. They're playing really well, except for those losses in Anaheim. But they don't slug very much. They don't get a lot of hits. They don't score a lot of runs, but they just find ways to win.
They just find ways to win. And I'm looking at this lineup, and outside of like Junior Caminero and like Yandy Diaz, Hunter Fredusha. So maybe we'll see an old
there's your boy.
Maybe we'll see an old friend this week. Who knows? We'll see. 7:10 first pitch time, though, from Dodger Stadium, and we will see what we will see about this ball game. But that'll do it for us here on this edition of the Blue Review. Stick around for the Sedano and Cap morning extravaganza coming up right after us. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Thanks to Brooke for production assistance as well. For Greg, I'm Marcus. We will see you tomorrow right here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel, 6:30 to 6:55 for the Blue Review. See ya.
See ya.